supposed to turn that ring outward. Just on a side note.
Look, do you really want to do the points in or points out debate right now? Like, as we're starting the show? This is what you want to... You're going to ruin my morning.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Points in.
That's what I try to do.
I remember my obligations, George.
I look at it this way. It's a transfer of energy. If I'm having a bad morning and I transfer that negative energy to you, I'm happier.
Maybe I'll switch it just for today.
You should.
Watch. It'll probably give me 7 years of bad luck now.
Hello, and welcome to the Freemasons Podcast with your host, Right Worshipful Brother George Mudry.
Worshipful Brother Ken.
And I'm Carolyn, the 2023 Connecticut Teacher of the Year and National Finalist.
Ooh, national Finalist. That's awesome. I've never been national anything.
We never have famous people up here either.
Yeah.
What? Yes, we have.
Oh, a couple. On occasion.
Scott Walter, Pat Miletich.
Yeah,
I hope he comes beats the shit out of you.
Yeah, those guys are definitely going
Pat
to be
Miletich, UFC fighter.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's a Freemason. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, the president of the National Border Patrol Council.
Yep.
Who could also end me.
Yep.
You just make a phone call.
Easily.
So I should probably keep my mouth shut.
Deport you back to Scandinavia.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Anyway.
Back to Finland.
We're up here today. We're going to ask about you and your connection with Freemasonry. I know it's with this idiot over here, but...
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Mm-hmm.
So,
there's more.
So let's get started. Got into teaching.
Yes.
So what exactly do you teach?
So currently I teach biology to sophomores and biotechnology and forensics to upperclassmen.
Oh, you're a high school teacher.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you.
Thank you.
She would not have wanted to know me in high
The fact
school.
that they have those classes in high school now is kind of amazing to me.
What did you take? Phonics?
I took like physics and chemistry, AP physics and AP chemistry I took in high school. That was it. That was like the most advanced science that we had.
Look at the
Nothing
big brain on Brad.
Yeah, I didn't say I did well in it, all right? You know, like a C-. I didn't place out of
Pulp
chemistry.
Fiction reference?
Yeah.
No.
Brain on Brett, I think.
Yeah, no, I got
Brain,
it.
oh, yeah, Brad. That's what it was.
Not to correct you, sir, but
No, that's a good one.
Might be Brad.
look at the brain on
Oh,
Brett.
it's Brett.
It is Brett?
She's right.
Yeah.
God damn it. We've been saying it wrong all
I
along.
ruined my Pulp Fiction
Like
reference.
3
Awesome.
years doing this podcast.
So what got you into teaching?
Well, originally I wanted to be an elementary education major.
Okay.
And then I started in college, and I was like, oh, no, I'm way too sarcastic for these guys. I made them cry. So I was like, okay. So then I switched my major to biology because I was like, maybe teaching isn't for me. I think I made a mistake. But then I went right back.
How did that sticker get over here? I stuck it on your shoulder.
I don't know. I'm the one made in China.
I dropped it.
The
You're
hug,
the
I
one-
gave him a hug.
I should actually stick that sticker on my child, my oldest, because I think he was made in China.
I'd send mine back.
Pretty sure that's where me and my wife were.
So you wanted to be elementary, but you went to high school because...
Yeah, because
Just-
I was too sarcastic, and then I was like, maybe teaching is wrong for me, so I did my major in bio.
Okay.
I graduated with that, and then I went back for master's in education. I missed it.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, I do want to be a teacher after all, just not the littles.
So how did you get recognized by the state of Connecticut and then nationally? Like, explain the whole process of like how that works.
Well, it's a process. So you get nominated. Every town is different, but in Bristol, which is where I teach in Bristol, in my city, you get nominated, colleagues nominate you. Then you fill out an application. Then they whittle it down to 2 finalists. Whittle it down to 2 finalists. And then you win for the city of Bristol, or I won for the city of Bristol.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was good. And I was good there. But then as a winner, you apply for state of Connecticut. So I'm like, of course I will.
So you have to apply.
Yes.
To keep moving. Okay.
Yeah, to keep going forward. So I applied. There was an application for Bristol, too.
Okay.
And then, so the state of Connecticut's a different application, but similar to the Bristol one, so that you're kind of know what you're doing. And then that was down to 16 finalists.
Okay.
Then down, which you interviewed in Hartford at the Capitol, and then down to 4 finalists. And then for the 4 finalists, they come to your school and they interview parents, teachers, students, and then like support staff, so guidance and office staff to see what kind of person you are. Wow. It's like spend a whole half day at your school. And then it's down to that after that. And
Jesus.
so then I won the Connecticut, and they do this beautiful ceremony at the Bushnell in Hartford, and
nice.
that was nice. Yeah, and then Ken's wife was there, and then
Emily made it. I didn't.
yes, no, you were doing something.
Yeah.
Maybe here, who knows?
Probably Mason stuff.
Yeah, probably. And then for national, so once you make state, then I did the table.
All right,
then
good.
you have to apply. Well, you don't have to, but you're going to apply for national.
Right.
And so that was like a 2.5 week turnaround.
Oh, wow.
For that application, which is like a video and letters of recommendation. It's a whole.
Oh, wow.
It's a thing.
It's like a whole process.
It's a whole thing. Yeah. So.
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So, and again, I know that there's some people. Did you get? How do I explain it? you get like parents that how does that work with the parents? I guess is what I'm asking. Like, do they get asked to recommend you, or do they kind of just like, no, I definitely want to write a recommendation for her?
So it's 3 letters, and I was like, you can get them from anybody.
Okay.
But I got one from my the district teacher in learning, the head at the Board of Ed type person, who is wonderful. And then I was like, I should get a parent, and I should get a former student. You know, like I asked.
Right,
so
right.
I asked a parent, and I've taught all 3 of her sons. Like they all came through my school, and now they're all doing amazing things. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask Barb, you know.
Yeah.
And then
The reason why I'm asking is because if somebody asks me to do something, I'm like a super bad procrastinator, where it's like, but yeah, I'll get to it. No, I just never do.
Yeah, well, it was like a 2 weeks turnaround. They're like, okay, so the national application is due in 2 weeks. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Wow.
So I had to be on it. Yeah.
So it wasn't like getting military clearance where they send somebody in and they just interview everybody that you know and like go through your entire network. And
They did have well, when they came to the school, they had like 75 people that were on the list of people to ask questions for. So that was a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive.
What do they ask? Like, what are the questions?
I don't know because that part wasn't me. You know, they're asking the parents,
You're
but they
not
were
privy
like,
to it all.
Gotcha. One of the couple parents were like, tell us a time when, you know, Miss Kelmo reached out to you and something along those lines, you know.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're not privy to the questions, though.
No, they take the parents in one room and the students in another and the staff in another room. It's a whole.
It kind of makes sense.
If you were a teacher, I'd shit all over you. I'm not gonna lie to you, Ken.
Hey, you know what? I've gotten a couple reference calls
too tall.
for
He's
you
too-
on occasion, and I spoke very highly of you. So thanks.
What the hell did you get a recommendation from me for?
What?
Oh, never mind. Yes,
Yeah, we're not gonna
yes.
talk
My
about that, but
profession.
look.
My profession. Yes. Okay. Yes, you're right.
Yes, yeah. Your usual vocation. But thanks. Now I know not to put you on my list of references for credit or anything
No,
else.
now that you gave me a nice one, I have to do. If I would return, give another one, but he's too tall.
Yeah, he's too tall.
He's too tall. I don't like his
Too
hair.
nice. Yeah.
I'm jealous of his hair.
Yeah, well,
So,
could be.
so let's talk about your connection with this goofball over here in Freemasonry.
Yes. Okay. Well, so Ken and I, our sons go to school together. So our oldest sons, my son Henry, his son Riley, are at middle school together. Oh, middle school.
Yeah,
The
I
shivers.
know.
I know it's rough, Ken. So we've known each other since they were in elementary school, and we're pretty good friends. They come swimming at the pool. But the other connection I have to Freemasonry is my daddy was a Freemason in Southington at Friendship Lodge.
Oh, nice. And what was his Masonic stature?
I don't know. It was
Gone every night.
Yeah.
Never seen him. Oh, it's
his
pretty
name
much
was
how it goes.
Frederick
Yeah.
Coor. So Frederick Coor was his name, and so he passed a couple years back.
Sorry to hear that.
That's okay. Right before COVID, so I think he would have hated COVID. He would have hated wearing the mask. He was such a bull. So he just would have been like, "This is bullshit," you know. Like he just would have. I can hear him swearing now. But he was very active in that, and also like huge in Southington with. Kiwanis and the American Legion. He was in the Army for a short stint, and he was on the board of directors at the bank, and he had a landscaping company since 1960. So over 50 years, he had a landscaping company. And some people call him the godfather of landscaping in Southington. I roll my eyes because he would have loved that term. But
Interesting.
yeah, he was a really great man.
So
Friendship Lodge, that's right down the road too. I had no idea that he was a member of Friendship in Southington.
Yep.
That's interesting. I know a lot of brothers in that lodge.
And we didn't even know that,
Yes.
Ken and I didn't even know that connection until my dad passed, and then you were talking about it. I'm like, oh, my dad was a Freemason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
no
weird.
kidding. And he didn't ever talk about anything about Freemasonry. Never
Not
told
really.
you details.
No,
or anything
oh
like
no,
that?
he was a, you
Like
know,
what his rank was. Was he a past master or anything like that?
I don't know. I don't even know if my mom would know.
It's so funny. Like the old school Masons, man.
Yeah, they
kept
didn't-
It, like,
Yeah.
They-
quiet.
It was down. No,
40s,
we don't talk about
60s,
Freemasons.
And
No,
there are a lot of
really
reasons.
didn't. Like,
Yeah.
There are a lot of reasons.
Now it's
for
kind of
that.
like open and stuff, but back then,
Yeah.
man, they didn't say nothing. They were
Yeah, he was
dead
serious
silent.
about it. I know that much. And I couldn't touch his ring. It was on his bedside table when he wasn't wearing it, and I wasn't allowed to touch it.
Yeah, that's an old school Mason thing. Yeah. That's definitely old school.
I remember being, this is pretty, and he's like, put that down. That's not yours. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, don't worry about it. You know, it was, yeah. But like, he just took it real seriously.
I know a couple guys like that still, and a lot of it comes down to the fact. I don't know if you knew this, Miss
you?
Carolyn, but back in actually there were a couple incidents over the years that caused Masons to kind of go a little bit more underground and be a little bit more circumspect about their membership. But one of them was during World War II, when Masons were actually one of the classes of citizens that got rounded up and sent to concentration camps.
Wow.
So that's one of the big reasons that, you know, some of the guys that are still around today, some of the older gentlemen that, you know, grew up in the 40s and the 50s and maybe even in the 60s just don't talk about their membership.
No, that makes sense, because he's 37.
So,
born in 37.
In regards to his ring, do you know if he wore the points out or in?
I do not.
I do it both ways. So
One of the things I like doing is I like riling him and Joe up, like
it's fun.
to a frenzy and get pissed off. I love doing it. I don't know. I'm like I'm like
points
like a
in,
shark when there's
points
blood
in
in the
or
water.
points out. How you wear your Masonic ring is like a standard debate that's always gone on since the beginning of time. It's just like that's how you start an argument with Freemasons.
Yes,
you say,
okay.
how do you wear your ring? So that's
How do you wear your ring?
what he's trying to do. How do you wear your ring, George?
Points out.
Okay, let me see.
Given light.
Do you even have your ring on?
No, I don't. I don't.
You're not entitled to an opinion.
I don't wear my rings or any rings because I just don't. I don't wear them at work. I'm not allowed to wear them at work.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you're not a
Because-
jewelry man anyway, right?
Nah, not really.
Yeah.
I don't even like wearing watches, but I have to when I'm at work because I can't touch my phone. So
Yes.
it's the only reason why I keep it. But I don't know. I wear rings when there's a meeting, but I don't wear it when I'm just out and about. I just don't. I don't know. It's just a thing. Like I don't know. I don't wear. Obviously, I don't wear it at work in case I have to go hands on with what I do. That probably wouldn't fare well.
I would think that would be a slight advantage in some circumstances, but to each his own.
Because I'm not
You know,
allowed
rules are
to
rules.
throttle somebody in the face either. Like
Right.
it's.
Me
and
neither, actually, at my job.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask about that actually. Like, so you got teacher of the year for Connecticut, correct?
Yes.
Do you feel like it would be different if you were teaching your own kids? Because me, for one, I know.
Absolutely.
Well, she had to during COVID, during lockdown. We were all kind of like absentee teachers, not absentee teachers, but like interim
Substitute
teachers.
Yeah,
right?
interim, there you go. Yeah.
So you had that opportunity.
There's got to be some Zoom video out there of some teacher with just my son in my hand holding the top of his head,
Keeping him straight
facing
at
the
the
damn
camera.
computer.
Yeah, eyes up.
How did that work when you
That was
did that?
terrible.
Terrible?
I'm very much of like a people person anyway. And, part of my classroom, the reason it works is because I build connections with the students, right? So when we went out in March of that year, it wasn't so bad because the students, we already had that connection and they worked for me and they turned their cameras on and they were great. But then in the fall, when I got a whole new crop of students I didn't know,
Right.
and our district didn't, it wasn't required for them to turn their cameras on.
Right.
Because some of them have issues at home and don't want you to see where they are. I'm in a big city, So they didn't have to turn their cameras on, and many of them didn't. And sometimes I don't even know if they were there. Like I called on some of them, no one answered. Like it was so difficult to get any learning done. It was really a really hard year. But those days are over, right?
Yeah. Thank God.
They're never coming back.
Please, amen.
So, what type of teaching? How do I put it? Like, what is your teaching style? Because when I went to school, I had a teacher, Mr. DeRobertis. I'll never forget this guy. He had a yardstick, and he actually wrote on the side of the yardstick, "The Intimidator."
Oh my God.
And
I don't
Was this
know if that
public
was
school?
legal
Around
back then, man.
banging desks.
He's
and
younger
stuff.
than I am too. I don't remember.
But
that
it
now.
wasn't. He never hit a kid. I want to be clear about that. He never hit a kid. That wasn't. But he would bang desks, and he was loud and eccentric. But realistically, it kept your attention.
Yeah, I guess so.
One, because you were worried he was gonna hit you with the stick, and
he
two,
was only implying
he was
abuse,
just
yeah.
very enthusiastic about it. Like he would just get loud at random points during the lecture, like, and you're like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
but it kept you engaged. So how? And then there was other teachers that were like, open your books to page 2, and they would just ran through the motions,
or just
and you
phoned it in. Yeah,
just
didn't
started
really
doing
teach
the
you
head
anything.
bob and
Oh,
just
like
trying
Ferris
to keep her.
Bueller, yeah.
So how is your teaching skill? Like, what do you do to keep the students engaged?
That's huge. I use a lot of humor.
Humor. It's a good-
Sarcasm is a good second language for me as well, like I mentioned before.
Really?
Even in real life,
Even in-
she uses
The
it
sarcasm.
profusely. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of teaching for me is, again, like I said, making connections with the students. Like if you can find the thing that they love and you can pull it into a lesson, and I know that sounds so silly to say, but I have like my whole windowsill is like Marvel characters and Stranger Things, like little pop art, and like I have Legos of Yellow Submarine Legos and like
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yep, absolutely. I have Daenerys up there, and like all like these like things to just to have. If one kid's like, "Oh my gosh, you watched Mandalorian?" I'm like, "Of course I do." There's Grogu right there.
Then it's boom.
And
it's
then
immediate
then
connection.
you get this.
While you're
connection.
pointing at a kid, you're like, "There's Grogu right there." No, I'm just kidding.
So they once you get that one thing, and it could be anything, it could just be something silly, but once you get that, then they're yours, like they want to learn because they think you have a connection with them. You've made this even a small little Grogu connection,
Yeah, I mean, also it makes it very lighthearted too.
Yeah.
Again, what I do is we'll talk about it off air. I don't know. Oh, did I say it on air before? Have I said what I do?
What you do?
I
think you talked about like in a very circumspect fashion what your job role is or what organization you work for.
I'm a judicial marshal, so I deal with criminals and inmates and all that stuff, and they're getting innocent until proven guilty, with all that. But they come in and they will make fun of you. They will pick on you and everything. One of the things I had a guy the other day was telling me, he's like, "Man, you got a shark fin in the top of your head," because I'm bald. Yes, I get it. They make fun of your haircuts and stuff like that. And I
not by choice.
And realistically, it's me being a marshal, them being behind bars. It's tense, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like one guy was like, "Man," he's like, "just let it go." He's like, "Just shave it off and let it go." And I made the joke. I'm like, "Nah, haircuts are like $20. $20 to get your haircut. I'm just gonna let God give me my haircuts and let it just keep falling out." And they got a good laugh at it, but it broke that.
Yes.
And it's similar to a teacher and a student. Like it broke that connection of like overseer versus, you know what I mean?
me,
Yes.
You versus me
yes,
thing.
I'm totally on their team, and they know that too.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. And I try to make it an open space so that all the students have a voice at the table. Like I don't want anybody to feel like they don't belong, because if a kid feels like they don't belong, immediately shut down. That wall goes up.
Right.
So I have to make sure they have a voice at the table. They feel that they belong, and that it's a safe place. Because if they don't feel safe, there's no way you can learn. So that's huge in my classroom, and big supporter of all the rights, and you can love whoever you love and whatever. We're here to learn. And I also want to make science fun. Like so many kids are so scared of science and math. No, don't say the M word in class, But it's such a cool topic, and I teach some pretty cool things with biotechnology and forensics, and that's an elective class. It's not a forced class. So the kids I get in there are really excited about the class and being in there in general. Biology is a different story because they all have to take biology. But as long as I can make
it's required.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's standard. Even when
And
we have
then
to take
chemistry
at least
as a junior,
basic.
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
So as long as I can make it accessible and relatable, and not so scary, that's huge.
So now there's the tougher question. Ready?
Okay.
You got a student, because there's one in every crowd.
Oh yes.
You got the student.
Sometimes several.
Is
Yes.
this a
That-
hypothetical?
No. This is hypothetical.
It's not hypothetical.
There's always an asshole kid. Let's be clear. Like, I'm going to say it flat out. It's just all I am.
You're going
Like,
to paint a picture, and then she has to
probably
think
last
of
name is
someone.
Mudry, but whatever the case may be, like
Just think of him in your
you always have that one kid who's a tough kid.
Right.
How do you handle that?
Again, and that's where I
There's
gotta
some of them
find
that-
their thing, man.
But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not. But there's always one that you just can't
Oh yeah.
connect to.
You're absolutely right.
How do you handle that? Like,
And
what
the-
do you do? Like, is it like iron fist at that point, or is it a different approach? Like,
No, I
try to get them to engage,
Yeah.
even though they don't.
So again, yes, connections are important, but it's not going to work for every kid. You're absolutely right, and that's I think a common misconception right now in teaching. Like SEL, social emotional learning, is going to solve all the problems. Nope, absolutely not. It's not going to solve. It'll solve most. Like it really will. But there's going to be those students who just can't. And I'll tell you what I do with those students is I give them responsibility. You wouldn't believe.
Give them a purpose.
I give them a job in my
That
classroom,
makes sense.
and you wouldn't believe how much that changes their whole attitude. So I have like classroom jobs, like somebody takes attendance for me, and somebody passes back paperwork, and somebody signs people out to go to the
smart.
bathroom.
And that's less
it's
work for you too. Which
Absolutely, Ken. Because I look at them
smart.
and I go, "Who's out today?" And they say the name, and I'm like, "Thank you." And then I give them extra credit points at the end of the quarter for doing their job, if they do their job. Somebody, I have all these little jobs. I have one person who's my athletic trainer. Who, wait for it. This is usually the trouble kid's
biology
job.
class.
just in front of the class in a front leaning rest doing push-ups.
This is the job usually for that kid, and this is what I mean, because our classes are 84 minutes. We have block scheduling.
Right.
It's a long
Holy
time for a
crap.
student to
Yeah.
sit, right? So their job is halfway through the class to be like, Miss Kelma, it's time to stand, or we have to do something. So they'll everybody stands up, and sometimes we'll take a little walk around the school, just not around the whole school, but just a lap through a hallway, just to get the blood flow back to the brain, which also helps me, because if they're losing, I don't usually lecture for 84 minutes. That would be a nightmare. But if we're doing an activity and we haven't stood for a while, it's their job to kind of do that. And so that just having a little responsibility in the class really makes them have ownership and like, it's my class. You know what I mean? And then they're like, don't mess with my teacher after that.
Right. And realistically, I mean, what's the human attention span? It's like 10, 15 minutes.
Well, especially
something
for
like that.
kids, too.
Especially for kids. It's
Yeah.
really short.
You're
It's
still
really
a
short.
kid in high
Yep.
school. Like, you have to get up and walk around. You can't be lectured to like
No
you're
way.
in college and expect to retain anything, I would imagine.
I have the attention span of a fly. Like, I literally will be paying attention. There's so many times
You're
people will be
worse than
talking
most,
to me, and
I
I'm like,
think.
you just go in the zone, and your brain just goes somewhere else.
He
You
does that
think
during the
about
podcast, too,
All
during
the
the
time.
recording. He'll
All
just,
the
like,
time.
shut down and stare at the camera
Yep,
like
yep.
slack-jawed. I got to slap him.
And then Ken's like, so,
Yeah,
looking
I
at
guess
me.
I'm running
Welcome
the show
back.
now.
Oh yeah. What the hell are we talking about again?
What are we doing here?
I do it all the time. So that's I wish that when we went to school, we were able to get up and go and move and do
Yeah.
stuff, because I mean,
Yeah, our teachers never did that.
no, I never did that.
Not even the best teachers.
Sat in Mr.
I had.
Kirby's class, I was just like a zombie, a deer in headlights, just sitting in the back for like 40 minutes. I don't know how long classes were, like 35, 40 minutes when we went to
Did
school.
you guys go to high school together?
No, but
No,
we
no,
went during the approximate
Clown school.
same time. You're actually a few years younger than me, right, George?
A lot of years younger than you.
A lot of years younger than me. Okay,
How old are
yeah,
you?
so 42.
Yeah, 29 again.
yeah, you're 29.
29 again.
But we went, it was the same kind of, I think, teaching model in place during the times that we were in high school. So,
But you didn't go anywhere. They shut the door behind you in
yeah,
the class,
it
and
was
you just
very,
stood there
it
or
was
sat there. And
Yep. I was
very
in those
stoic.
classes too,
And
yeah.
if you keep lecturing at the students, eventually they'll retain 70%, maybe if they're lucky. And then you get the next crop of students, and then you go. Like, that was kind of the methodology, I think. And
Yeah.
there weren't very many teachers that innovated on that at the time, at least.
But you probably remember the teachers that did.
Oh yeah, there were
That's-
definitely
yeah.
some, and those were the ones that inspired me to get into technology and to better myself. And I can do anything. Like those were the important lessons that I got, and it was from those teachers that separated themselves from the norm.
Right.
And did things a little bit.
standing joke on the podcast is we call Ken a robot, so he can self-repair himself.
Yeah,
That's
that's because yeah, one person knows about computers and they become like the cyborg.
It was a couple of things. One, you knew about computers, and two, this used to be, the table was open. And one summer, it was just a regular table. This we built
Jesus.
later.
Do we have to get
had,
into this?
Yes, we do. She needs to hear this because it's hilarious. We had just a regular table, and one day Ken decided to wear shorts in the summertime. And I don't know if you
There's
know.
no air conditioning up here.
I mean, I don't know if you can see Ken's pigmentation. Well, his legs.
I've been to her
are-
pool before. She knows what I
she
look
knows-
like.
all right. So somebody picked on him about his legs, and now the joke is it was fake skin, and he's Data from Star Trek and
oh
all that
yeah,
stuff.
Data.
And yeah, so
I can see it.
it's kind of where it came
Oh
from.
yeah, Data. Yeah, now I see it. Yeah.
And I'm the angry dwarf
Thanks,
because
George.
apparently I'm pissed off all the time. So somebody
No.
called me a garden gnome the other day.
I can see that.
Yeah, they called me a
get you.
I'm
garden.
gonna have one of those AI things paint you as a garden gnome. I'll just feed it a picture and see what it comes up with. I can't wait.
And Joe's a redhead, so he's a ginger. That's
Yeah.
when he gets pissed, we call him a ginger snap and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
so getting back on the teaching aspect of it, I had a question before. I can't
Well,
remember.
since we're talking about data and AI, that's a new thing that's coming out with education too, right? That's a new.
Yeah, we didn't have any of that when we went to school. There was no computer labs or.
Right.
Tell me they
none of
don't
that.
have like Chat GPT
They do,
generating
Ken.
lesson plans for. Oh Jesus.
Yes. Well, so
I remember
don't know,
Oregon Trail. Do you?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
about.
Yeah. No,
I remember that
this is
too.
way-
Nobody won.
Remember,
Nobody ever won Oregon Trail. You always died every time.
And also,
I
you
won.
only had at least when I'm a little older than both of you, when it was 30 minutes in the computer lab, you had one day a week where your class was get to go in the
Yes,
computer lab,
true,
and it was
yeah.
for 30 minutes. So how could you beat Oregon Trail in 30 minutes?
And
Come
it
on.
was MS DOS. Like you just put
Oh,
the
yeah.
floppy disk in, and you had to
20
wait
minutes
for.
to boot up. Yeah.
Most of the lesson was just getting the game to operate.
Yes,
and
correct.
Class was
15
over.
minutes in, you haven't even turned the computer on yet.
No, booting up. That's not even a thing anymore.
All right, so this.
Yes.
We don't talk about it because it happens so quickly.
Yeah,
And then
right.
there was AOL Online. Welcome. Kids will never understand.
No, I know.
Never.
Your kids,
Never.
Your kids today are.
And then your old man would be down the hallway, pick up the phone. I need to use the phone, and that was it. Poof, internet was done.
Yeah, your aunt would call and.
Aunt would call. Yep. You're always pissed off when a phone call would come through. Just in AOL chat rooms, just like ASL.
Yeah.
You don't remember that, do you?
No, that was like my early dating
Age,
life.
sex, location. ASL.
Yeah.
So I need you to explain something to me.
Okay, yes, sir.
I have little kids.
Okay.
They come home with math. No, first off, I'm an idiot. Like this.
You're not
is,
an idiot. You're just not good at math.
This is. I can't even get radio codes at work, like because it's
We
numbers.
got a good growth mindset. You're just not good at math yet.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Explain to me Common Core math. Do
No, I don't teach it.
you don't.
Thank God.
Well, I'm science, and it's high school science, so I
Oh
don't.
my God.
Because of I have a son as well who went through that, right, with Ken's son.
Oh, my
and I was
God.
like, what?
Oh,
But
yeah.
it makes sense to them. Like, my son gets it.
They went through that during lockdown too.
Yeah.
My
You know,
kid would be
Yeah.
like, "Dad, can you help me with my math?" And I'm looking at him.
Nope.
I don't fucking know, kid. Like,
I can answer
don't
it
know what
for
to tell
you,
you.
but-
Like, I can answer it for you. Or long division. They don't do that shit apparently either.
It's a
They
little
do,
different.
but it's
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah,
different
I agree.
strategy.
Like, I'm like, you do this.
What
and
do
then
you want?
go-
Trigonometry? What the hell is this shit? Like,
No, but
I
by the
know.
time they get to your classroom, I would think,
Yes,
Carolyn, like
yeah.
they already like you either know algebra or you don't, right?
Yeah,
If you're
so they're
doing
taking
physics or
algebra or
something.
geometry at the
Yeah.
level that they come in. I know.
So you don't have to teach them the process. It's like
No, not
know
sometimes
it
I
for the
do,
science.
and then but it's not. We don't do any complex, crazy math, and like we do a little bit of algebra, but nothing, no calculus or anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's funny too because like when I went finally when I got out of high school and I was like, oh, no more algebra, no more math. I don't have to worry about it. Went into the Marine Corps, and what do you think freaking long distance shooting is? Fucking math.
It's basically calculus.
basically
it's,
calculus.
Yeah, trigonometry.
And I
to
love
a
that. When am I
certain
going to use
extent,
this
yeah.
again?
When am
I'll
I going to
tell
use
you
this
when.
again?
All the time.
Bam, there it is. Literally within a year.
When you don't
Son
have
of a
when you don't have a
bitch.
ballistics calculator and you have to do all that crap
Yep. Nope.
longhand out in the field,
There you
yeah,
go.
that's when you need the
Wonderful.
math.
Yep. So, I didn't know if you taught Common Core math or you
No.
understand it or know it because we'd be having a full on conversation
God
because I
bless.
can't help my kids.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Just
I know. Well, there was during the COVID. There was times when I had the YouTube video up to show me how to do it because
Yeah.
I knew how to solve the
Yep.
problem. Of
there's
course.
YouTube videos on there.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
to teach
sir.
you the
Oh
process
gosh,
of
try
it.
that out.
Because you can't teach the kids a different way to do it.
No,
because then
because
they
this
get
goes
back in the
back-
No,
class
that's
and
what
they're
I'm like. When
yeah.
I did it this way, but I can't teach him
This
that way.
goes back on our whole attention span thing. 15 minutes,
Yeah.
I'm sound asleep. I'm
You can't
missing the
watch
whole
a YouTube
lesson.
video.
They got short ones, George. They got like 5 minutes. Can you do 5? We'll see.
I don't know.
Your attention. There's some science that says some science. There's a different attention span science. Some people say it's this. Some people say that. But some people say it's half your age is your attention span.
We're getting
So
into
I got, like,
conversation right
in
now. I'll have a
seconds.
question. Gone. Just forgot
Gone.
it 2 minutes ago. Forgot it. Forgot the question that I was going to ask.
So it's
Yeah,
half your
so-
age in seconds or like
For
milliseconds?
George, yes.
Minutes?
Because I'm 29 again.
Keep telling yourself that.
Again, that's the key word right there.
Yeah. Growth mindset. Yeah.
So what's next for the national thing?
Okay, so I went to Washington D.C. to interview
Okay.
with the 5 finalists. This is the first year that there's 5 finalists.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's 4 finalists. And I said, well, why are there 5 this year? And because the competition's so stiff. Great, that's not what I want to hear. But okay, so that's fine.
Okay.
So there's 5 of us. It's me, Washington D.C., who is from Waterbury actually. His name is Jermar Roundtree. Then Oklahoma, Illinois, and Alaska is the 5th finalist. Right. So there's 5 of us. So we went to D.C. to interview, and now it's a waiting game. 2 to 5 weeks we have to wait. Mid-April.
So there's 5 of them?
5 finalists.
I think
yeah.
you need to get on the phone with Pisani. He makes people disappear. It's a Waterbury Mafia.
No, we're not going to make people disappear.
What?
There are other ways
Just
to
heard
influence
it.
things.
Stiff competition.
without-
Pisani will start clipping people.
We're not engaging the Waterbury Mafia.
I do
okay?
not condone.
I didn't say that. Did I say that? I didn't say
No,
that.
you,
I just said talk to Pisani. What the hell?
I'll see what
Conversation.
Have you ever met Joe Pisani?
No.
Okay.
He's a good guy. He's
He's
good
like
brother.
me on my shoulders.
We're just making fun here. He's not.
I'll do it.
Guy. super Italian who shows up with wine from like I don't know Sicily or whatever.
Oh yeah, he has like a wine caddy. Like
Yeah,
this
he's got a wine
cute little
caddy.
like Tuscan wine caddy made out of like
a
wicker.
little like a little suitcase. Right?
Yeah.
My dad had one of those.
But he's like, he walks in here. He's dressed. He's like in a full suit. He's got a
Decked to
pocket
the nines.
square. He's
It's
got
a
like an
Sunday.
overcoat.
Where are you going?
Yeah, we're all here in like t-shirt and jeans and stuff. And
Yeah.
he's got his wine caddy with like glasses and stuff.
Yeah, it
and
has
he's
Always got
Always.
Kevin with him, and Kevin is twice the size of him, and
Oh,
Joe
yeah,
is tall.
His
He's
buddy
he's
that
an
he used to
enforcer.
bounce
I'm
with.
telling you, he's a bodyguard.
Oh, it's always fun
why I
when they walk in.
saying.
But they're like the nicest guys in the universe. They're Masons and like through and through. They're not,
The
made
nicest
men or
guys.
anything.
Kevin don't say anything. He just stands in the corner like.
No, if you get him
Arms
talking,
crossed.
if you get him talking, he's like the sweetest guy. Like they are both teddy bears. Maybe you just rubbed him the wrong way. Maybe.
I didn't know I would not rub him in anyway because he's big as shit, and I don't feel like getting killed.
Anyway, we digress. They're nice guys.
Right. So that's why I'm saying we should find out who the other finalists
They're
are
just
and
growing
let them meet.
boys. Yeah. Okay. Well, at any rate, not going to do that. So what do they do
I wonder
during this?
I wonder which way his rings are pointed, in or out. Interesting.
Well, I'll ask them after the podcast. So during this whole like multi-week period, after you guys have already done your interviews and all
Yes.
the stuff that's necessary for the national competition, what are they doing? Are they like deliberating?
know.
Or they just don't tell you.
I feel like they already know Ken, and they're just not telling us.
Oh.
Like it's like one of those things. I feel like
Pomp
we're
and
just
circumstance, bureaucracy.
yes, because when they do make the announcement, it's going to be on CBS Mornings, so they're doing it live on TV.
Oh, so they're going to
Oh,
produce the
cool.
whole thing.
Yeah, so it has to be like all the cogs and wheels have to turn in the right directions and make sure everybody's covered and fly the person out or drive them or however it's going to work. I don't know. So
Where do you have to go? DC? I'm
I
assuming.
don't actually know. Where does CBS Mornings film?
Undisclosed location.
New
Might
York
be
City.
New York
I would
City,
think it would be
yeah.
New York
New York
City.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Undisclosed location. Pisani's running security.
Yeah.
Um,
Bonnie and Kev.
What do you get when if let's say you win? What do you get?
okay, so if you win, you're on sabbatical for a year from teaching. So you have the year off of teaching.
They give you a whole year off?
Yeah, and so a year sabbatical, and you like tour the country,
Oh, that's
promoting
cool.
education and yeah.
Doing,
When I touch, I'm touching shit. Sorry.
Doing
Wasn't me.
commencements and stuff like that. that
I
kind
would
of
think
deal.
so, yes.
Yeah.
And like
That's so
speaking at
cool.
educator conferences and probably high schools across the country or other schools, not just high schools, but districts around the country and
That's cool.
promoting the career. Yeah.
That's
What are
awesome.
they? What are the perks of becoming Teacher of the Year for the state of Connecticut? What did you get out of that? I
Oh,
know
yeah,
one
that's a
thing.
good one.
I can't wait until
She's
you
the
talk
principal
about
I know.
it. I'm super jealous.
Well, actually, and Ken, I just learned that being a state, I get a free. I have to still do the work for it, but I get a free PhD.
What?
Yes, at Walden University. I'm so excited about.
Holy crap! So you're going to be like a doctor of
Dr.
education.
Kelma, isn't that exciting?
Oh, I'm
but
gonna,
that's
I'm gonna use your title. I don't care that it's like
Right.
not like
I
I'm
still
not a
have to-
medical doc. Too bad. You're
Yeah.
Doctor.
No,
Dr.
yeah.
Kellner from now on.
I still
Dr.
have to do all
Carolyn.
the work and research and all the the coursework for it, but I do get to do it at no
they
cost.
just
How would that
Hey,
work
like-
now at school? They'd have to call you instead of
Yeah.
teacher. You'd be doctor, like
Dr.
whatever.
Kelma, yeah.
That's
Doesn't that sound great?
Awesome.
That's awesome especially for a science teacher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally,
like,
totally.
We're not going to screw around with this teacher
Yeah.
this year.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah. But the other cool perks are like, so there's little perks and then there's bigger perks. Like one of the little perks for Connecticut. So Connecticut does a whole like thing. And some of the little, like I went to the Mark Twain house and I got a tour of the Mark Twain house.
Cool.
That's exciting. But I also get to go to.
Where the hell is that?
Hartford.
Hartford. You never went to that?
What's the
when
one in
you were
Shelton?
school?
It's a Mark Twain something or other down there. isn't
Oh,
it?
there's one in.
Mark Twain's bar or something.
No, it's Reading. In Reading? Is that the one you're talking
No,
about?
no, no. Right on.
Oh, I don't know.
Was it 110 that goes from Shelton down to?
Yeah, I know the
wherever?
area, but I don't know anything
There's one right
notable
on the
about
right-hand
Mark Twain
side.
in that area.
I don't know. I know he retired in Reading.
He smoked a cigar on the corner.
It's quite possible. Yeah, they do love doing that with Mark Twain. And so we did that. So then we also go to Mohegan Tribe does a thing with the tribe elders.
Oh, cool.
And they take us through their whole museum. I'm really excited about that. It's like a whole day.
that's cool.
And then that should be amazing. And then Mystic Aquarium does a day with us, and so there's like a whole bunch for just Connecticut. And then the state, get this, I get to go to space camp in
I'm so
Alabama.
jealous.
Base camp.
Yeah, in July. I'm very excited
What's
about that.
what's space camp? Is that like Elon Musk shoots you up to the moon or something?
I don't
like
think so.
It's not quite that cool.
I don't know. I've never been to space camp before, but I assume like anti-gravity something or other.
Yeah, it's
Take
like a
my
whole
Dramamine.
astronaut experience, man.
Yeah.
Like it was like the one
Yeah.
thing that we always wanted to do when we were kids. Maybe not you, but like everybody wanted to do it, and she gets to do it. It's like training to be an astronaut, man. It's
That's cool.
super cool. And you get to play with like simulators and stuff that you
Yeah.
would never see at like the Smithsonian or like at the Science Museum up the road in Hartford. Like, you know, it's a pretty big deal.
That's cool.
I did hear a rumor, Ken, that we do get like blue jumpsuits with our names on them. Oh, you know I'm gonna wear that
That's gonna
every
be your
Halloween.
Halloween
Every
costume.
Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
I love that we both went to the same thing. That's gonna be your Halloween
Damn it,
costume.
that's so cool.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So that's July.
And
then
where's the space camp?
Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, it's a weird spot for it. I thought it was in
No,
either-
because it's close to
Close,
Cape
it's
to
close.
Cape Canaveral.
I
Is
think
it?
it's Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh,
I could
okay,
be
yeah.
wrong.
So it's
could be
it's
wrong.
near the coast. I thought it was
close
either near. I thought it was either part of the Kennedy complex or like in Houston, but Alabama.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that'll be cool. And then I get to go to the in January the college football championships.
Oh, that's cool. Also
Yeah.
very cool.
God.
Do you get to bring your family?
I don't know, not to space camp. I was already
Oh,
asking
yeah,
about
well,
that one. I was hoping because I could
Why would you
bring
want
my
to?
son.
I'm going to space camp. Bye, guys.
No, but I
Shut the
mean,
door.
My
like,
11-year-old,
Go
come
on.
on, my 11-year-old,
yeah,
he's
he would
all
be,
about
he would
that.
be-
Yeah.
all of our kids, I think,
yeah,
are like
yeah.
stoked for going to space camp.
But I don't know about. I think college, the college football championships. I think I get a +1, but we'll see. And then at the end of April. After
So Ken's going to be kissing your ass for a while. So you're going to be getting phone calls. Oh, how's
pretty
your
sure-
day? How's everything going?
Pretty sure her husband is
Yeah.
still going to win that.
I'm pretty sure
That's
too.
right.
He's still cooler than me.
Ken gets a text back from your husband. I will kill you.
Yeah, I don't mess with him.
And then end of April is the Washington week, so we get to go to Capitol Hill and
Oh, that's
meet
cool.
Joe and Dr. Jill. I'm excited to meet Dr. Jill.
Get a chance. Go over to Alexandria and check out the George Washington.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
The
just
George
an-
Washington Masonic
Masonic
Memorial.
Memorial.
It's a
Oh,
huge
excellent.
building.
It's a
Yeah,
huge
beautiful.
building. It's kind of like an obelisk, I guess.
Yeah,
But you can go
nice.
up the floors all the way and look over the roof and everything.
Oh,
It's really cool.
fun.
It's got all kinds of Mason goofy shit in there and like that.
Mason Goofy shit. I like
Mason goofy shit.
Yeah, there's a gigantic square encompasses
quoting, I
on
didn't
the
swear.
the front lawn too. That if you're flying into DC, you can see.
Oh,
it.
yeah, you can see it, yeah.
Giant
Oh, I saw the
square
yeah. That's when you fly into Ronald Reagan Airport. There's the Washington Monument right there. I'm like sightseeing. Check.
And when you go in, like, there's a massive marble statue. Is it marble or bronze? I think it's bronze, isn't it? Of George Washington.
I believe
Oh, I
it's
don't know.
bronze.
I didn't
if
see
I
that.
recall.
Giant. It's huge.
Cool.
It like dwarfs, what's his name? The other guy sitting in the chair. Abe Lincoln. That's
Yeah.
right.
But this is it's not the Washington Monument like in central DC. It's
Right.
it's in
No, it's
Alexandria. It's a separate.
And the other place to check out is the House of the Temple.
Oh yeah, the
that
Scottish
also in
Rite House of the
Alexandria?
Temple.
That is in actually Washington D.C.
Okay.
It's what is it? I know they actually. So the streets are like
Yeah,
they go up in
there's,
number. Like
Yeah.
it's like they actually got it changed in the post office, so it says 33 something, right? It's like
Yeah, because 33rd degree is a
33rd degree, Scottish Rite
honorary
degree. But the whole building is marble, and like the inside's
Whoa.
got a big oculus in the top of the ceiling. Everything
It is.
giant,
It
huge
is
place,
posh.
beautiful,
It's the
and it's got a
head-
museum in the basement too. If you
It's
like
the headquarters of the Northern Masonic jurisdiction of Scottish
Okay.
Rite, so it's opulent and it's.
Doesn't it also have Neil Armstrong's apron and all that stuff?
Oh
on
yeah,
it too?
all of his Masonic
There you
stuff.
go.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's got I think the flag too, or the thing from when they went to the moon.
I think it's a duplicate of the flag that went to the moon.
yeah, it's got all
Nice.
kinds, so it's not just
yeah.
our
Right.
crap.
Oh yeah, there's some interesting history.
It's got other
there,
stuff
too.
in there. Interesting.
It's not just Mason goofy stuff. It's
No.
Yeah, there's
Mason
some real
goofy
history there, and it's a beautiful building. The architecture is amazing.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's all made out of
Yeah.
marble. It's
Sounds
wild.
So you also get another perk. I'd like to announce as,
What's that?
as a finalist for National Teacher of the Year, you get a free tour of Morningstar Lodge.
I
in Seymour,
do.
Connecticut.
See?
Whoopee-doo.
I'm excited.
I was trying to
The
play
two
it up,
rooms.
George.
So
two
far, I've
rooms.
only seen the bathroom
Yeah,
and this room.
bathroom's pretty cool though, right?
Yes, it's a nice bathroom.
Oh no, she will actually like this because we have a certain thing behind the secretary's desk she might enjoy.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, that's a that's
tell
a
you later.
that's a perk of the tour.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only cool thing we got in there.
No, there's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if your father was a Mason. I mean, I think you'll see some,
Oh,
some
and before I
interesting
forget to
parallels.
say about my father being a Mason, his funeral was so beautiful. You guys came. And, oh my God!
yeah. Masonic funeral.
Of course I wept earlier, but I lost it for that part. It was just so beautifully, so well done. They were so organized. The gentlemen the Masons who were there were just, it was amazing, and I don't want to leave without saying thank you for that.
It's our duty. It's our obligation. It's a sad ceremony. It's a sad duty, but it's one that we all have to perform. So we try to.
Why do you make it sound like that?
It was beautiful.
What? That it's sad? It is sad,
It's our
dude.
duty. It's our
Well,
duty.
it is. It's part
Like,
of
we
our
don't wanna be there.
obligation. Well, that too, but I was trying to show that it's both. It's a little bit of both.
I'm screwing with you, dude.
We would be there even if it was, too heartbreaking for us to be there. We've been to a few recently, George, that are super heartbreaking. You know what I'm talking about,
Yes.
but we wanted to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's how we show our respect for the brother that passed. So
Yeah,
I'm glad
the
you
Masonic
enjoyed it.
funeral is
Special.
powerful.
And powerful.
Very-
Absolutely.
Very cool, and it's also cool to see, like, when, again, like, I don't really think, we contemplate our death. I mean, it's no thing, but, like, you don't really expect, like, other people to, you expect it when you go to, like, a wake or a funeral, you expect it's just, my family. And then you get an entourage of, Marty's had how many Masons
There
there?
were
Yeah.
like 150 or
Oh my
something
goodness,
Masons
wow.
that came through.
And
there.
you're literally looking at all
Filled
these
the
people
whole
like,
room.
holy shit, like,
Yeah.
like, I didn't know my father was that special to these people, and they're just coming up and they're
Correct.
doing their thing.
It's a whole other
Wow.
family that rolls in.
It definitely is, yes.
Pretty wild.
It's awesome.
What do you say when you give her the tour?
Yeah, might as well.
Give her the tour.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes,
I
thanks for having
appreciate
me.
it.
That was fun.
You need to keep us informed and let us know
Okay.
how you do.
I'll tell Ken.
And if if there's any problems, we got Joe Pisani,
We got people for that?
and we got people for that.
Yeah, depending on the type of problem. Just want to be clear. There's certain ones we can't solve, but we do know people.
Just what's his name standing behind the judges? Like, it's the wrong one.
Choose better.
Arms crossed. And his black T-shirt and jeans. It's the wrong one.
One to the left.
Yeah, it's the other box.
We'll see what we can do.
But anyway, for the Freemasons podcast, I'm Right Worshipful George Mudry signing off.
Worshipful Brother Ken, signing off.
Oh, and Carolyn Kilmas.
Good luck to you.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thanks,
Thank you so
guys.
much for
Thanks,
coming up,
everybody.
Carolyn.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.